The 25th NXT TakeOver event took place in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Webster Bank Arena. And before the show started, they had this two-part pre-show. The first part was called the Target NXT TakeOver, and this is where they had some really great video packages for Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, and then you had Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai also had great video package, and it was narrated by Mauro Ranallo, and that was great. I actually loved it. I wish WWE should do more stuff like this on the main roster, and I'm just thinking of this. I don't want me to go off on a tangent, but WWE is great at everything except the main roster product. The main roster product's a pile of shit. But all the stuff on the network, on NXT, those documentaries they produce, there's a new one on Ronda Rousey coming out now. All of them are amazing. The network is awesome. I love the network. The documentaries, NXT, everything's amazing. The main roster is a piece of shit, though. But anyway, I really like that part. Then we go to the main panel, and you have Charlie Caruso, Sam Roberts, and Pat McAfee, thankfully only for 30 minutes. But good thing here is we get a surprise from the former champion, Tommaso Ciampa. He talked about the main event. Nice to see him back. And I'm thinking Ciampa is at the point where he's done everything he could in NXT. Same thing with Johnny Gargano. They both need to go straight to the main roster. Ciampa should not come back to NXT when he's healthy. If he ever wrestles again, he needs to go right to the main roster. And Gargano, I think, will be on the main roster soon. Unfortunately, he'll be called down. But you have Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, and Beth Phoenix on commentary, and NXT TakeOver 25 starts. We start off with Roderick Strong coming out against Matt Riddle. It was kind of funny when Roderick Strong first came out. You hear the Undisputed Era music. I think the fans thought it was going to be the tag match, but when they heard just Roddy come out, I think they kind of the pop went down a bit because I think they were looking forward to the tag ladder match to start. But he comes out, then you have Matt Riddle. And they had a great opening match. A lot of chain wrestling. I really like this a lot. I love Matt Riddle's style. There were some good kicks here, some sick apron bumps. It was slow, and it was the perfect match to start because this is the kind of match that you need to start to show off. It gets the crowd ready. Matt Riddle was a huge favorite here, and you knew he was going to win, but there were some moments where it looked like Roderick Strong was going to win because there were some really close near falls, and it got really exciting near the end. I enjoyed it. I liked the submission part. And especially where it's like, Riddle is obviously a shooter. He can fight. He was in the UFC. Roderick Strong, it's not believable, but they did some really innovative stuff here with some of the submissions near the end with Roderick Strong using Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Matt Riddle. I like the Boston Crab spot. That was good too. So there was some really cool spots when they got to the finish. And it ends with a tombstone position, and it turns into a slam to the ground. It's like a tombstone into a fall-away slam by Matt Riddle, and he gets the win. Really enjoyed it. Very good opener here. Really, really like that a lot. Next, we go to the tag team ladder match. You have the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish going up against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. You have the Forgotten Sons. That's Wesley Blake and who's the other guy? And I forget the Forgotten Sons. The thing with them, that team was more so gonna be about their enforcer who came out in the match, and that was Jason Riker. He made an appearance in the match, and he was dominant. Steve Cutler, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler is the Forgotten Sons. And you also had Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch were definitely the fourth team out. That seemed like they were easily the least important of the four. And wow, what am I going to say about this? This was fantastic. This was nuts. It was amazing. And it was a match where it was painful to watch, and like you can feel the wrestler's pain. And this was an amazing match. So when I say painful, you might think, oh, it's a bad match. No, it's amazing, but it was hard to watch because it looked so painful. So many ladder matches, the best in WWE history, are the big spots, the big table spots, jumping off ladders, slamming through ladders. Here, it looked like a painful match. You can feel the pain on the wrestlers. It was a brutal match because the bumps they're taking, it just sucks. Like, it's going to kill your back, and it even gets you thinking, damn, these guys don't need to kill themselves for me to be entertained. Kyle O'Reilly took some of the most painful bumps you'll see. His back is messed up, and I guess Bobby Fish is also hurt because he came out when the show ended in a sling, so that makes you think both guys are probably hurt. Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, the first bump is when he lands on the ladder, when his back lands on it, and it cuts him. and it leaves this giant mark, and it looks gross. He gets another bad mark. He lands on the ladder again. This guy is just killing himself. I don't know how he was still alive, and my God, I do not want to be Kyle O'Reilly in the morning. You had multiple slams, like German suplexes into the ladder, which were great. You had a really amazing spot with Montez Ford, who bumped like crazy here. I can tell they were probably going because Montez Ford was just killing himself, but what happens is you have two wrestlers holding up a ladder and they're fighting over it in the ring, and Montez Ford jumps over the ladder that they were holding, over the top rope, onto the ground, onto another wrestler. That was fucking insane. It was a lot of fun. The stuff with the Forgotten Sons with Jason interfering, and he had a really good spot where I liked how all the wrestlers grabbed the ladder and smashed them with it. That was good. You had multiple super kicks here. Just some of the stuff when they just get slammed, it makes you cringe at parts. I love the ending. It looks like, oh shit, it's not going to be the Forgotten Sons winning, but it's a great ending where Angelo Dawkins does a big spear. Montez Ford jumps out of nowhere, jumps onto the ladder, knocks one of them off. Montez Ford grabs the two title belts, and the Street Profits are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. So Montez Ford wins a title before his wife, Bianca Belair. I thought Bianca was going to win the NXT Women's title before Montez Ford would win the tag titles, but he's a champion, so it's possible they're both champions in the next few months. Really good moment, too, with the Street Profits celebrating with the fans. They do the whole stuff with the cups. It's okay. I'm not huge into the cup stuff, but definitely a huge win for them. An amazing ladder match. I don't know if I wouldn't put it above the match from last year at the New Orleans NXT show, the match for the first ever North American Championship, the inaugural match. I wouldn't put it above that, but this was still an amazing match. This was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Next, we go to the NXT North American Championship. You have the Velveteen Dream defending his title against Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze has brunette hair, which I don't like, because his character is blonde. It's a blonde guy. I don't know if the dark hair really suits him as well. He comes out, and I feel for this guy because I don't know. I'm not saying I know this. I don't know. I don't have any sources, but I almost get the feeling he probably asked for his release and Triple H told him he can go back to NXT, and that's what he did. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel that way. But he's probably going to stick around on NXT and he needs to, because his main roster run has been a complete and utter disaster. Velveteen Dream comes out, and you can definitely tell there was a flip here. I don't know if Breeze was originally a heel here, but Velveteen Dream was definitely a face, and Velveteen's now a heel. That was the story of this match. You had a really cool spot where he destroys Tyler on the announce table. He does a selfie, and the selfie goes onto the Titantron. This is the old Tyler Breeze selfie spot from 2014. I don't know, it's a bit dated here, 5 years later. The stuff was really fun where it feels like they're doing something of it, like this huge redemption story at Tyler Breeze, and it's good. And it makes you think that it's almost as if Triple H is telling fans, fuck you, I can do this. You messed up with this guy, watch me prove how big of a talent you missed out on. They had a good match here. They told the story. You know, it was impossible to follow the tag match. I didn't think they should. I thought the tag match should have came afterwards. It was going to be impossible for them to follow it. Maybe they didn't want to put the woman in a bad spot because they couldn't follow that either. But it was impossible to follow that last match. It still had a very good match. It was a good match. It told a good story with the flip. It ends. I actually had a really cool near fall where Tyler Breeze hits the money shot, that's spinning heel kick. It looks like he was going to win the match, but Dream kicks out. And eventually Velveteen Dream gets the win. There was a heel turn, basically. He brings the title belt, and the referee gets it in the ring, and then it distracts Tyler, and Breeze hits the slam and hits the elbow drop and gets the win. And they have a selfie at the end, and what you have is the Dream just shows him off. So, you know, he basically just poses in front of him, blows him off, big times him. So makes you think a rematch probably at the Toronto show is where they're going to go, but you never know. Next, you had the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler against Io Shirai. Earlier in the show, they showed Candice LeRae supporting Io in the back, and she was going to help her, so that meant she's probably going to attack Duke and Shafir when they come. So they have Shayna Baszler use that MMA entrance when she comes out. By the way, I have to say, Io Shirai is gorgeous. She's amazing. She's great. This match was good, but Shayna Baszler's style holds the women's division down. She does not need to be champion. She hurts the division. She sucks. She's not good. why do people see anything in her? She was an average MMA fighter. Maybe that's why I don't like her. I get some wrestling fans just think they want to see someone real, and maybe they think Baszler is real. She is, but she was never a great fighter. For her to get pushed like this, you think that she was Ronda Rousey. She was nothing like that. Ronda Rousey was one of the biggest female athletes of all time, one of the biggest stars ever. She sold 1 million pay-per-view buys multiple times. Ronda's a major draw. I have no problem with her getting a main push. But Baszler, why? She was an average fighter. She was nothing in the UFC. I don't get why they push her like this. Her matches are boring, and they hold the division back. I would have loved to have seen Kairi Sane and Io Shirai the last few months. I would have loved to have seen Candice LeRae get involved. How good would Candice and Io be? Maybe they built to that later. But I would love to see that. I think Baszler just held that whole division down, and it sucked. She is not a good champion. Her matches are boring. She's slow in the ring. I don't like her. She's old, too. Why? I don't get the infatuation with Baszler. The match was good. It was probably, I don't know, if you can make it between this and the NXT North American title as the weakest match. It's still really good. It made you think Io could win. You had Candice LeRae destroy Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir with a kendo stick. But then at the end, Io Shirai makes a bad mistake, and she gets caught in the submission, the rear naked choke, and Baszler eventually chokes her. It went on for a while. It made you think Io was going to win. But then they have the babyface beat up the heel after a match. Io Shirai snaps. She beats down Baszler with the kendo stick. She takes a steel chair, and she does a moonsault onto Baszler with the kendo stick. So they destroyed the Horsewoman. They destroyed Duke, Shafir, and Baszler, all left laying in the ring. And I guess maybe a hardcore match, a street fight at the Toronto TakeOver show, most likely. And maybe that's where Io wins, but they're definitely going to continue this feud. They now announce NXT UK TakeOver. The second show is going to take place on August 31st, the same night as AEW All Out in Chicago. So head-to-head, UK and AEW. Triple H wants to embarrass AEW because he's going to have those NXT UK wrestlers kill themselves and outshine AEW on that same night. That's what that's about. That's going to be a fun night, August 31st. All day wrestling, 3 o'clock NXT, then at night you can watch AEW. So that's going to be fun. Main event, Johnny Gargano defends his NXT championship against Adam Cole in a rematch from the greatest match in NXT TakeOver history, NXT TakeOver New York. And I was thinking it's going to be impossible to top the last match, and this was amazing. I wouldn't put it above the last match. I thought the last match was better. And one thing I really thought going into this match was, how do you have a 2 out of 3 falls match and then go back to a singles match? It's kind of going backwards. You kind of go to a singles match and you do the 2 out of 3 falls here. But what you had before the match started, I wanted to talk about this. Adam Cole got a big entrance. He had a rapper come out. I don't know who the rapper was, but when they had the Undisputed Era music play, he added lyrics, and that was actually really cool. Gargano comes out, and you can automatically tell it's an Adam Cole crowd. Just like the show in New York, that was an Adam Cole pro crowd. The match they have is insane. The first few minutes, I'm trying to get into it because I know this is going to go long, so it doesn't really matter as much. Once it got out of the ring and Johnny Gargano goes for a suicide dive and he gets countered into a super kick, oh my God, that was nuts. It was insane. It's like these guys are just killing themselves. You had Adam Cole do a Canadian Destroyer on the outside on the mats. You had a really great spot with Johnny Gargano. He does like this reverse sunset flip. Cole lands on his head. He gets back in the corner, hits the running knee, and it looked like it was over. That was just amazing. You had so many great back and forth super kicks. It's a super kick party. They're just killing themselves. You had Canadian Destroyers like crazy here. It made you so entertained. It got you on the edge of your seat. It was a roller coaster ride. The first one was more so of an emotional match for Johnny. This was just more of chaos. It was just, holy shit. So there was a good spot. So the referee gets knocked out, and it makes you think Undisputed Era is going to help Cole win. They don't come out. I'm thinking to myself, they're going to turn heel on Adam Cole. But it was a good story because he didn't need them to win, and I like that part. I like the ending. You know, they had a cool sequence of the Gargano escape. Cole gets it on and Gargano gets it on. And has a really good ending where you have Cole hits a Canadian Destroyer who was on the middle of the rope, and then he hits the running knees to the back of the head in 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole is your new NXT champion. I dread Johnny Gargano getting called down to the main roster, but Adam Cole is your champion. An amazing match, a classic, another great match. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a thriller. It was so exciting there at the end. Crowd loved Adam Cole winning. Loved the ending with the Undisputed Era hoisting Adam Cole over their shoulders. The leader, he's the champ, even though they went 1-2 on the night because the other 3 all lost. But Adam Cole wins. Undisputed Era celebrates an amazing show. NXT is amazing. NXT TakeOver 25 delivered on all fronts. And another amazing show by NXT.